Hi everybody, and welcome to Lost Genre Reddit Stories. In this video, we've got two stories from the subreddit Am I the A-hole? One with an update, and the second one with complete closure. So if you want to go ahead and get started with the stories, just use the timestamps below the video. Now, let's get started with the first story. This post is from the subreddit Am I the A-hole? And it's by user PM me random tips. Am I the a-hole for not paying, for not giving up to my brother's tantrums? I, female 29, recently bought a house and a brand new car. I will admit I probably splurge on my house more than I should, but growing up very poor, it has been always a dream of mine to live in a nice house. I worked really hard to be where I am, so much so I undergo countless breakups because I always choose career over boys. My brother, male 25, is currently jobless. He worked as a tourist guide before and can barely make ends meet. He has 5 kids now, and counting, as his wife announced a pregnancy recently. He messaged me on Facebook that there is something he wants to talk about, and I thought he wants to name me godmother to his incoming baby. I said sure, and invited him to the house to get his approval about some things I modified for our parents. I gave him a tour and he admired my house greatly, saying things like how excited he is to bring the kids to my house. I did not mind anything about it as I thought he meant a visit, which I'm more than happy to host them for. Imagine my surprise when he finally sat me down and finally revealed what he wants to talk about. He wants me to give him my house. I clarified whether he meant this house or the other house I bought for my parents, which I still lived in, still has modifications ongoing with my dream house. He said the house is big enough for his family and I can go visit them anytime I like. He even offered that if I really wanted to live there, I can go move into the maid's room and modify it for my personal use. I was shocked and couldn't speak as he thanked me over and over for the house. I finally asked him where the heck did that idea come from, and he said our mother told him I will give him my house. I of course corrected that, and this is where things went south. My brother repeatedly said since our mom said the house is his now, I cannot do anything but give in. I called my mother to tell him to F off, and lo and behold, my mother sided with my brother. To make this already long story short, my whole family had cut me off and parents disowned me until I give my brother my house. My father has been brought to the hospital over this fight and now I feel really bad. The guy I'm seeing now said to just give the house to my brother and he'll help me buy another. Reddit, am I the a-hole here? I'm sorry, what? No, of course you're not the a-hole here. Your brother is, I think, an a-hole but also a big moron. And your mom? What the hell? She has a right to give away your things? Like seriously, that's your brother's argument? Mommy said I could have it, so now you have to give it to me. What the hell, man? Get out of my house. I would have laughed him out of my house so quickly, and then I would have probably kept laughing and he would have heard it through the door. And regarding your family disowning you for not bending to their stupid demands, call me petty, but I would probably sell the house that's mine that they live in. I'm sorry, you disown me? Well then you don't have access to my things. Your family is being absolutely ridiculous, and your mom and brother are delusional. OP, you are absolutely not the a-hole. What do you guys think? What is your judgment on this situation? Let me know in the comment section, and now let's move on to the community comments to see what they had to say. Nervous Tomato says, not the a-hole of course, but what the actual hell is going on here? The entitlement of your brother to expect that you will give him your house, and the nerve of your parents expecting that you would indeed do this. Actually, if your parents want to provide for your brother, they can invite him to live in the house you've bought for them, and they can live in the maid's room. Your family is toxic, OP, and if that's how they see you, as a bank, then cutting you off is a good thing for you. Blue Cardinal says, is this a joke? One of the clearest not the a-hole I've ever seen. You already gave your parents one house and they took it upon themselves to give your home away as well? And OP responds, haha, thanks? I feel really awful though, as I mentioned. My father has been brought to the hospital over this. I feel really guilty because if I had not fought my brother and mother, he would have been probably fine. He thinks I should give my brother my house as he thinks I can afford to buy another for a few years. He has a point, so it eats me up. Pika Pika 26 says, not the a-hole. And you should sell the other house in your name, since they have disowned you, and take it to go on an amazing holiday. How horrible. And OP responds, this comment made me laugh. This is the same suggestion as my boss, who also happens to be my best friend. She said I should use the money to treat myself on a nice holiday in Europe, as I had always wanted. OP's edit. To clarify, the house that they gave away is the newly bought one. One I thought where I could raise 5 adorable fur babies. Family home is in my name too, as I have to take out a loan back then to buy it. So yeah, it may be obvious I'm not the a-hole at first sight, but I feel like I could be one because my father got hospitalized over the ensuing fight for the house. Edit 2. I'm trying to read all comments and I'm just so overwhelmed for your support. I'm temporarily staying at a friend's house ever since. Your encouraging words really helped ease my mood. I finally decided not to give this house and sell the other one to help pay for a vast majority of loan on my dream house. I also decided to remove my parents' access to my health plans and remove them on my insurance. Last but not least, thank you for the award, kind strangers. Reading your comments made me realize how ridiculously unreal this sounds. Well, I guess this was an easy one for the community as OP is clearly not the a-hole. Now, one thing I would like to add to my initial commentary is OP, your dad getting hospitalized over this is not your fault. If there is a fight here, it wasn't one that you started. You are ending it though, but this is on your parents and brother. Their moronic entitlement is what has them in this position in the first place. It sucks that you're feeling guilt about this, but you can't rationalize guilt away. You just have to understand that it's not your fault. Now, as I said in the beginning of the video, we have an update for this story. So let's move on with that to see what happened 8 months later. So I cut my family off back in December and removed them in all services that will benefit them being connected to me. Since I figured, hey mom, you told me I'm dead to you, then you get no free house from me anymore. So the reactions from our extended family were just as I expected. Most of the adults sided with my mother. My cousins expressed their support to me. I got uninvited from the family reunion I initially sponsored, and isn't that just the worst? My aunts and uncles had barricaded the gate when I arrived at my granny's house. I won't expand on this anymore because it still hurts until now. My mother also sued me for selling the first house back in January. It did not reach the higher courts and I won. Public perception of me got worse though. She and my brother took this defeat to twist the sympathy in their favor. They posted on social media about how I am an ungrateful daughter and I owe them for everything I have. They also blamed me for my father's death. Yes, he died. I did not even get to attend the funeral because I'm banned. When this happened, I almost gave in and signed the papers to give the house to my brother. I blamed myself and believed them my selfishness killed my father. At this point, my boyfriend convinced me to take a break from work and talk to a professional. I did just that, and I'm only now just realizing how effed up the way they raised me is. I can't believe it took internet strangers to realize something is wrong with how they treated me. To be honest, I almost decided not to post an update. It was last month when my therapist suggested I should do it because this is where me breaking off from them started. On the bright side, I saw how my fiance's family really likes me because of this ordeal. I thought they were just being nice. But crap happened and they supported me every step of the way, especially when my partner had to go overseas for 1 week stay because of his job. They really took care of me and even assured me I'm worth more than my family thinks I am. The nicest thing I ever heard in my life came from his mother. Anyway, last July 21st, my father's birthday, mother reached out to me. She explained to me that she understood she had no right banning me from his funeral, But at the time, all she could think about is how I cut them off my health plans and it rendered them incapable of supporting my father's hospitalization. I did not realize this and we cried for hours. She said she still blames me though and doesn't think she can forgive me. I think I understand her. My therapist told me that thinking of what ifs is counterproductive, but still, if I could go back in time, I'll help them with this. My brother won't talk to me. That's fine. The feeling is very much mutual. Wow, OP, I'm so sorry to hear that your dad passed away over apparently this. And yeah, in hindsight, cutting them off the health plan thing probably didn't help the situation. But your mom blaming you is not right because this is not on you. If you ask me, I blame your parents. Yes, of course they can be as mad as they want for you not giving in to their entitlement, but banning you from your father's funeral, that just shows the kind of people they are. On a positive, you mentioned that the person that you're with, your partner, is actually a fiancé, so congratulations on the engagement. It's great to know that his family loves you and supports you so much. That is a good thing. Now, in the comment section for the update that I just read, somebody asked, who in their right mind would demand someone just to give their sibling their house? That question got a response with a link to another post. This post doesn't have an update, but it does have closure. So let's move on with that. This post is from the subreddit Am I the A-hole? And it's by user MiddleBroThrowaway12. Would I be the a-hole if I drove 400 miles to confront my older brother? I am one of 4 siblings, 2 boys and 2 girls. We're all between 30 to 42 years old and 3 of us are married except for our middle brother. Our middle brother has always had problems in school and socially. And when he got older, it was being able to keep a job and paying his bills. Our mother would always guilt the rest of us into taking care of our middle brother financially once we all moved away. We all agreed to equally contribute so the burden wouldn't fall on our parents who wanted to retire. Our oldest brother always hated this idea and resented middle brother for being able to get away with being lazy his whole life and blames our mother for lowering the expectations for this one sibling and always calling him her sweet, sensitive boy. The rest of us were never able to get away with the same things middle brother did, especially our older brother who had done everything for him growing up. About a year ago, my sister and I stopped equally contributing to middle brother due to financial difficulties, but didn't tell our oldest brother. He and his wife make significantly more money than us and figured it wouldn't make any difference financially to them and didn't want middle brother to get literally nothing. Anyway, during a family Zoom call, our mother casually brings up that her sweet, sensitive boy needs more help than he's been given from his family. And it came out that older brother is the only one paying, and he blew a gasket. He called us opportunists, liars, con artists, and lots of other things, and finally said, F you people, and got off the call and hasn't spoken to any of us since, not even our parents. He's missed 2 payments, and middle brother is freaking out. My parents and I tried reaching out to his wife because middle brother will be kicked out of his apartment soon unless we pay. She makes as much money as older brother, if not more, and can easily pay, but refused. She called us crazy for even asking her to go against her husband like that. Now she stopped taking our calls. We're out of options and are considering driving the 3 states away to confront our older brother into helping his family. My own husband thinks this is a bad idea and that we should let our middle brother sink or swim at this point. Before you ask, middle brother was tested extensively years ago and found he was neurologically typical but sensitive, hence my mother's nickname. Would I be the a-hole if I drove all the way to physically confront my older brother? Yes, you would be the a-hole OP, and a very weird and odd type of a-hole. Your brother missed 2 payments? Was he contractually obligated to make said payments to keep your brother in his apartment? This neurologically typical but sensitive person, which is another way to just say a normal human being, was living in his own apartment. He wasn't even living with mommy, and you guys had to pay for that? There are so many different types of a-holes in this story, and the only one that isn't an a-hole is your older brother. I definitely agree with your husband. You should let your middle brother sink or swim. He's old enough to carry his own weight. And this is why both him and your mom are a-holes in this situation. This is probably her fault for coddling him, and he never did anything about it because he was just too comfy. You're the a-hole for not telling your brother that you stopped the payments. And now you want to physically confront him to make him pay? Come on, get real. So what do you guys think? Would OP be the a-hole or not? Let me know in the comment section, and now let's take a look at the community comments to see what their judgment was. Mike Isanon 154 says, "You're the a-hole for stopping payments without telling your older brother. I would be pretty pissed too if I was in your brother's shoes. I don't think driving out to confront your older brother in person is a good idea. Not only because the pandemic is happening, but also because you'd be turning up unannounced at his house to confront him. Just out of curiosity, why can't your middle brother get a job and support himself? You said nothing's wrong with him. What does he do all day, and why can't he live with your parents if he doesn't want to work?" Purple in the Brain says, "You're the a-hole for not telling your older brother. I'm completely on his side. Also, I would have never agreed to support a lazy-ass adult. That's why he is the way he is. You all enable him. He's got it good. Why change? Your brother is totally justified." NH Anon 87 says, "You're the a-hole. You stopped and just expected him to pick up the slack? Now that he found out and is mad, you want to drive and confront him? The middle brother does need to learn to make it in his own. You all screwed him over and now want his wife to go behind his back. Try treating him like family, not a bank." And so the community absolutely agrees that OP would be the a-hole if she goes to confront her brother, and that the middle brother should do something to carry his own weight. Anyways, OP did not respond to any of the comments in the post. However, she does make 3 fantastic edits that actually give us closure to the story, so let's finish off with that. OP's edit. 1. Middle brother did have a job before all of the COVID closings, but it was part-time and never enough for both rent and essentials. 2. I misspoke by saying confront. I was really going there to plead for older brother's help. 3. It turns out to be a bigger deal than I thought because, unknown to me, older brother had also been partly paying our parents' mortgage and our other sister's student loans and has stopped as of July out of spite. I guess my older brother doesn't care what happens to the rest of us as long as he and his wife are doing okay. I am the a-hole for lying and I accept that, but not for trying to help my middle brother survive when our older brother is fully capable of helping his family, just unwilling." OP's last edit. I'll be honest, almost 1,000 people telling me how effing terrible me and my whole family are is both overwhelming and untrue. It's not like we put a gun to our older brother's head and he fully volunteered to help our parents with their mortgage since they did pay for his college, so I stand by that being 100% spiteful BS. As for my other brother and sister, they can pay their own way. I agree that it's unnecessary. The last thing I'll say, and I know it doesn't matter because everyone's mind is made up, is that if the situation was reversed, I'd be happy to help my family if I had more money than everyone else. But maybe that's just me. OP's actual final edit. I am the a-hole. I get it. My older brother and his wife aren't on Reddit, so they hopefully won't see this. Knowing him, he'd want to defend me because that's the type of brother he is, and I know I wouldn't deserve it. Thanks to everyone for your truthful take, even though it was hard to read. I'll work on composing a heartfelt apology in the hopes he will forgive all of us one day. He really is a good brother. And there you go, closure. OP finally understood that she was an a-hole in this whole thing, along with the rest of the family. I mean, let's face it, the older brother was paying for everybody. paying the parents' mortgage, paying the other sister's student loans, and also paying for the other brother. So yeah, I would think the least that OP should do is apologize to her older brother. I don't know if a letter's gonna cut it. Maybe that's what she should go to physically do. Apologize. And it's that time that we've reached the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed today's stories. I certainly did reading them to you. So if you did, then go ahead and give the video a like, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel and become a member of our Discord community that just keeps growing, and it is fantastic. And like I said in the beginning of the video, all of the relevant links are in the video description below, so be sure to check them out. And finally, I'd like to thank you all for taking the time to watch this video. It really does mean a lot to me that you guys enjoy this content, so thank you once again. And having said all that, I will see you guys in the next video.